January 16th, 2018. Order. Do you have something? First, we have the reading and approving the minutes. Do I have a motion to approve last meeting's minutes?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Next, we have the payment of claims. First, we'll talk about the blight elimination claims. This is for our blight elimination grant. We keep separate claims for that. Total this meeting, we have $1,195 in claims. We do have Brenda here, Brenda Douglas, who has been taking care of the grant for us at the city. So if we have any questions. The 222 East 8th, we're paying $420.03 for the acquisition, and part of that we're also paying $579.97 on the liens and taxes that were owed on the property too to acquire it.
Correct.
And then $195 for the title search. Okay. Anything else you want to add to that?
That's it.
Is there any questions from the?
We haven't really done a whole lot of that I remember, so I might be corrected, Brenda. We haven't had to do a whole lot of payment of people's liens or taxes that were owed, so is that already part of the grant in general, or is that something that we had to do
Actually,
differently?
We just deducted from the acquisition. We are blessed in that the first round of acquisitions we're running anywhere from $3,000 to $7,000 to acquire these properties. The properties that we're getting now, we're getting for less than $2,500 for the most part. So we're able to save a lot. We are allocated $25,000 on each property through this funding to cover acquisition, inspections, asbestos abatement, and demolition. And so acquiring these properties the way that we are is far cheaper. We're able to save a lot of that money. The more money we can save on each house means more houses that we can tear down in the future. So
The acquisition in reality is $1,000, but we're just splitting that $1,000 for the acquisition of property into paying off some of the debts on the house.
most
And then
of
the
those are liens.
Gotcha.
where we've mowed
Oh, really?
and things like
Okay.
that, right?
Yeah, and there's a schedule of the lien.
So how many's coming up on this next round? I mean, do you have another list of properties?
In December, I sent off a list to the state requesting that 13 be added to the program. These were actually closer, I think it was 12. 12 were added to the program, but they had so much of an influx of documentation that hit their office at the end of the year that my waivers are kind of on hold until they get caught up on payment of claims. But I submitted those as 2 separate waivers. Just to add some of these new properties. We got some gems on this one, we really did, and people were just at a point now where they don't have it to financially or stamina-wise to do anything with these properties, so they just want to be rid of them, and they really are some good structures that we'll be able to take down, things that have been eyesores for decades.
How long is this like funding going to be available? Is this something that we can continue to do every year,
No.
or?
Right now, we are granted the money through 2018. Hopefully, we'll have most of our money spent. We're already over the 50% mark. However, we're going to have a lot more that we can do with this amount of funding because we're getting the acquisition so low. But I do not believe the IHCDA is going to continue the program unless, of course, they can find funding somewhere, because it's been a huge relief to a lot of communities to be able to use that money to tear down these homes.
Are we going to be pretty close at the end of this year with everything that you have on the list currently?
Absolutely.
Like we should be able to get everything that we need done anyway?
Absolutely. Most of our money is committed right now until I find out how much the asbestos abatements are going to run and the demolitions. I won't be able to tell for sure how many more houses we're going to be able to tear down. But I know for a fact, once we get through this round, I already have enough money saved for the first round to do another 3.5 to 4 homes.
Nice.
So,
Wow. You're doing
Any bad
a
ones,
stand-up
let me know.
job.
Yes,
How many
you
are
are.
we going to be at
well,
this
we've
point?
already been granted 37. We're gonna exceed 40.
Yeah. And, I mean, and you can attest this too, Brenda, in the building department. You think, like, you're catching up on homes that are problems that you think, yeah, these really need to be demoed, and then we'll be good, and then you turn around and there's 3 more.
Absolutely.
So it's like every time you turn around, you feel like there's more, but.
Yeah, with 90 miles of street or roads, is that about right, Bill? About 90 miles of road?
Yeah.
Here in town, there's no way to see every little home. We really rely on the neighborhood people to let us know when there's a structure that's, that they're having problems with. Some of these are fine from the front, but when you get to the back, you just wouldn't believe it's night and day.
Yeah, and I know from the conferences and stuff that I've gone to, there's a lot of talk about pushing for a second round of blight elimination to go through the state.
Be nice.
But, of course, like you said, that takes a state action. They have to decide to do it again. What we have now is a one and done, as far as they say this is how much money you have, and you spend it, and then you're done. So, but yeah. Anything else?
Nice work, though.
Yep. All right, is there any other questions from the board? Any questions from the public? Do I have a motion to accept the blight elimination claims?
So,
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye, all right. Next, we have the city's payment of the claims. Is there any question from the board? Any comment on those? Is there anything you wanted to
No,
mention about them?
just what I filled you guys in on, that we took the one bond payment. I voided the check because they got a hold of me and said that they needed it today. To mail it was going to take too long, so I had to go wire that today. So I just wanted to bring that to your guys' attention. It was kind of done last minute, so.
Okay. And we have $207,219.97 in claims that we'll be approving. Any questions from the board?
No.
Any questions from the public? All right, do I have a motion to accept the payment of the claims?
So moved.
second.
All right, all in favor?
Aye.
All right, motion passes. And next, we have city attorney report. Is there anything to report from the city attorney's office, Dustin?
Not at this time. Sure, I'll speak, though, when we get to the resolution, so.
Gotcha. All right. Old business. We have nothing on old business, but I think we do want to talk with our street supervisor, at least give him, and have, I don't recall, I remember we had a meeting, we talked about you coming and talking to us, but do you recall what we were, we basically were, because the last few times that we had our meetings.
Suggestions on awarding the bids.
Right, yeah, because we did have some confusion on awarding some of the bids from last time, so I just wanted you to come and, I know you clarified it for Tish and I in my office, but just so that everybody else got up to speed.
Okay. Item 2, which is street paving, we only had the one bid, Gong Sun. $58.95 per base, per ton. Intermediate, $58.95. Surface is $62.45.
Okay.
So I would suggest we accept that.
Okay. All right.
Item number 8, which is stone and sand, IMI, put one in, Hanson did. There's different items on those two, that some sand, stone, whatever is cheaper than the other. So I suggest we accept both and we buy accordingly.
Okay.
The fuel series solution, item 11, 87 E10, which is our unleaded at 35,000 gallon. I suggest we go with firm bid on that of 2.228 per gallon. That will be locked in for the year 2018.
And so who did that bid, or which bid is that?
It's Series Solution.
Series Solutions.
It's the same company we deal with, just different name.
Okay. Did they have two different, a firm and a, okay, and you suggest we go with the firm?
I suggest firm.
Okay.
Bill, which fuel was that?
Unleaded.
35,000.
Okay.
The 87 unleaded delivered to the city garage for our tanks, firm bid of 2.37.
Okay.
So item 12, the premium DX diesel, the 55,000 gallon firm bid of 244.
Okay.
The premium DX delivered to the city garage, 55,000, the firm bid of 2.59.
Okay.
The oil's 1540, the grease, I suggest we go with JM Reynolds. The oil is 755 per gallon, the grease is 313 per gallon, or pound.
So, is there any of those that we need to award? Or is there any action that we need to take? I believe that since we accepted the bids, that Bill's able to take the ones,
Right, basically at this point, all my office will do, I will contact them, I'll send them an email and let them know what we've discussed, and then Bill will be free to contact them whenever he needs
yeah.
to purchase.
So we can
anything.
purchase from all of them, we don't have to accept one and stick with everything, so we're just basically accepting
I think
all of
that's a
them,
smarter way to go.
and we can
I
pick
mean,
and choose what we want.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think Bill's absolutely right, that's the smartest way to go.
And the other thing that we talked about doing in the future too is right now, the people that are, when we send something out for a bid that the street department's going to use like that, they come to the clerk's office to pick up the bid specs. So what we're going to do from now on, when we're advertising, we're going to have them come to Bill's office out the street department, pick up the specs so that he can talk to them and clarify any.
It just makes sense, Bill knowing more than I do.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of things they try to bid on we don't actually use.
Right, yeah.
Right, it's wasting their time as well. If there's only 3 items you want them to bid, it's a lot easier for them than giving you
Right.
4 pages of those.
Yeah,
Right.
and they'll still turn it back in, sealed bids, to Tish's office, but they'll pick them up at the street department so they can talk to Bill.
My question on that is, I guess this is a question for you, Mr. City Attorney, is do we need to let people know? Like, do we need to put something out that that's how we're going to do it in the future, or just advertise it that way in the paper? You know, do we need a policy that we're going to do it that way, or?
I'd probably run a legal notice just to be safe, because generally once a municipality starts doing things one way, you have to place notice to the public that things are going to change, so.
Okay.
Now, that's just for the street department, correct? You're
Right.
not doing that with every?
No, just the
Okay.
street department, because it's so specific.
Right.
The things, the questions that they ask and the things that are bid on, and every single time they come to my office, I end up giving them his number or sending them there anyway, so, yeah.
You don't know your oils?
I really not, you know, I do olive oil and coconut oil and vegetable oil, and, you know, that kind of thing.
Use a lot of that on the street.
Yeah.
All right, thank you, Bill, I appreciate that.
Thanks, Bill.
All right, so nothing else under old business, we'll move on to new. We have a request from Jade Hodson, Smitty's road closure request for Riverside Drive for the annual St. Patrick's Day parade, or I'm sorry, party, no parade. I'm gonna make sure. Hopes up. On Saturday, March 17th, through Monday, March 19th. I don't see anybody from Smitty's here, but we do this every year. Did Jade speak with you?
Yes, I called Jade just to clarify, because I kind of know how it works. She said they will not have it closed on Saturday until noon or after, so it
Okay.
will be open Saturday morning. So they'll close it around noon, and then they're not going to have anything going on Sunday, but that tent company does not pick up the tents on Sunday, so first thing on Monday morning, the tent company will be back to take
Do we
it
have an
down.
outdoor event on St. Patrick's Day?
They're going to this year.
Okay, 'cause I didn't know, this is the first I've ever seen where they, I mean, I know they close the road for a lot of events, but I never knew for St. Patrick's Day.
Yeah.
Makes sense.
And so it's the
Yeah.
same protocol as any other outdoor party.
So it'd be Monday morning before they'd open the road back up because
Right.
of the tent company.
Right.
Okay.
All right. Any questions, concerns from the board?
Any issues from any of the departments about,
They've always done a great job, real efficient about putting it up, taking it down. They're right on schedule, just as Tish had said. Never any issues. They always do a great job down there.
all right.
All right. Any other comment from public, concern? Okay, do I have a motion to accept the closure of Riverside Drive? We want to say, I guess I should specify from, let's say, noon to noon on those dates.
Yep.
Does that sound?
Sure.
All right. So do I have a motion to that effect?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All right, the motion passes. Next, we have Resolution 2, 2018. Resolution accepting assignment of a 2017 tax sale certificate from Miami County, Indiana. And then I won't read the rest of that because it's a lot of Indiana code. So,
City attorney, yeah, you can translate that for us.
Well, Brenda has been working very diligently figuring out the properties that we have taken down and that are vacant and that we have liens attached to and whatnot that went up for tax sale. And with that, we can petition the county to have those tax certificates transferred to us. And then once the county accepts that, they need something signed by the board saying that we will accept those properties. And that's what this resolution is, to accept that. And once we accept that, they'll then pass a resolution to send to the Department of Local Government Finance to have the back taxes waived or forgiven. And we'll have those properties and we can sell those to the adjacent landowners. So we're no longer mowing them and maintaining them and wasting our time and resources on those properties.
Has there ever been an issue with trying to get rid of any of them?
This is kind of a first-time thing. I'm not sure this has been done in the past. Typically, when properties are on tax sale, they go through one round and then they go through a second round. And then the third time, they go through a certificate sale. So you as somebody off the street could buy one of these properties for $35. Well, then we have to wash off any lien, any mowing, any service that we've done to that property, including our demos, which run anywhere from $3,000 to $10,000. So we're out quite a bit of money and someone else ends up with a property. So when Mayor Greer got into office, we had a meeting with the auditor's office and asked, is this a possibility? Can we do this? Can we stake a claim on these properties and try and recoup some of our money instead of just letting them go somewhere else? They said yes. So here we are, and we're finally doing that. Some of these properties are vacant lots that we've torn down homes on. Others, I think, there might be half a dozen homes that are on that are in pretty blighted condition. So they're actually targeted for the blight elimination program once we get them, which will make a very low-cost acquisition for us. The only thing that we will incur with this process now is the cost for the letters to any parties that have a vested interest in them, as well as cost for the title searches on each one of those. We've already contacted Wabash Valley Abstract, and they worked out a deal with us on each property with us doing so many. But once that process is done within 90 days, those should be all ours. Or we force somebody's hand to pay the back taxes on them, and then at least they'll be current.
Then, to go along with what she said, talking about the title searches, the legal cost to file the petitions, motions, and the legal notices, you can file a 137B form with the assessor's office, and what that is if someone does redeem these properties, they have to pay those title search costs, those legal costs. So we will be doing that as well, making sure we'll recover our money if in the event they do redeem the property.
and there is
A lot.
27 properties. I'll just do a real quick read on the addresses, just so, for the record, everybody. 435 East Washington, 376 West 6th, 253 East 2nd, 64 North Water, 259 Chila Avenue, 69 North Wayne, 165 East 5th, 106 West 10th, 73 South Holman, 622 West 3rd, 382 East 6, 86 East Franklin, 710 South Broadway, 520 East 5th, 468 East Canal, 214 Euclid, 233 East 3rd, 219 East Main, 276 West 2nd, 622 West 2nd, 66 South Holman, 89 East Warren, 16 Shields Avenue, 212 East 3rd, 301 West 2nd, and 171 West 2nd, and 576 Monroe. So, for all the folks watching at home, those are the properties we're talking about. Any other questions from the board?
Just that this seems like a great thing for the city, and it seems like it covers us in multiple ways, so that makes me a little skeptical. Is there any catch, any catch that y'all know of?
No, we have done this for other properties. I know we did it for 63 South Broadway.
Okay.
So we did do it for one of those to have the, sorry, we did not get the certificate. However, we did go through most the exact same process and had the DLGF forgive the back taxes and everything. So that was part of our agreement with the owner at the time.
Yeah. So this is basically to protect us. If we have our investment, we go do all this work, tear it all down, then somebody comes back and wants to pay just the property taxes back. We've got all this money invested, they have to pay those fees as well.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
We'll never recoup all of our costs once we take certificate of it, but rather than let it go for $35, at least we'll get something back on that.
Yeah,
When we do
because,
sell it to the adjacent landowner or whoever wants to.
yeah,
They
because
don't have a
by
lot to
us,
say so, and
Absolutely.
well, by us having these, like Brenda said, we'll probably never recoup the full city cost on any of these properties, because once they're a empty lot, if you go to a tax sale, the first sale, and you have to pay off the back taxes to get the certificate for the property, and there's an empty lot with a $10,000 demo lien, no one buys it. So it goes to a commissioner sale. Once it goes to the commissioner sale, they wipe out all liens on the property. There is no more liens, and then it's just a matter of a bidding process. So that's like Brenda saying, it could be as low as $35 when you spent $10,000 on that property, clearing it of a building. So chances of us getting $10,000 for an empty lot is zilch. But if we get it, we might get 500, we might get 1,000 on an empty lot, selling it to the adjacent property owner, and then we have a little bit more, latitude to try to recoup our cost. It is more work on the city, which, to your point, Kristen, like, what's the catch? That seems really great. The catch typically is we have to take on more work. It's more work for our city attorney and for the clerk treasurer. It's more work for the building department, but it's work that these folks are willing to do to kind of try to do something better for the city.
Something to keep in mind, some of these properties that are on the list were demoed not last year, not the year before, but some upwards of 5 years ago. And so they've just been sitting there. Now, they haven't just been sitting there, but the city has also mowed them every year, multiple times a year. So we've got costs in this. So to get rid of them, to get them off of our bag, saves us money and labor and time. Plus, it puts some money back into our unsafe building fund that we can go after more homes or, see what we can do that way. But it's not good business to keep them.
So like if this gets passed, then say for example, there's a lot, will you just like contact the adjacent owners and be like, this property will be up for sale, we're taking bids on it, or are we gonna put a starting number at it, or?
We'd like to put a minimum bid on some of these lots. I mean, honestly, personally, and it's not my decision, I'd love to at least get 2,000 for each lot.
I think that's reasonable for a lot. I mean, honestly.
We're going to have to look at the assessed value. I believe that's what the attorney said, the city attorney said today. And if they're under 6,000,
Right.
we won't have to have an appraisal on it, but we can get a
BPO.
BPO.
Yes. As I say, if it's under 6,000, we can have Stephanie would be able to do it since she's licensed
The
and she's
BPO is a
familiar with
broker
it.
price opinion.
Yep.
Yeah.
Now, will there be something in there that people can't just go put pole barns on them?
Well,
I mean-
once they're their property property, I mean,
Yeah.
they'll have to meet the current zoning code for all of that. I mean, ultimately, it would be great if they'd go to the adjacent property owner, because you know they're going to be taken care of, rather than some investor invest them and then try and sell them. You know, it gets old running your mower all over town, mowing your empty lots while you're trying to sell these. So it really would be great if they went to the adjacent property owners. We'll have to notify them as well as put this out in the paper, but
Well, I'm not in the building department ever, hardly, but I'm looking at this list and I see one that jumps out and catches me, that the neighbor has already been here asking the status of that property and would he possibly be able to buy that. So, I mean, that's a good sign. I mean, I was just over hanging out at Brenda's desk one day and I saw that happen. So I'm not sure how often that happens,
Yeah.
but.
I've seen it happen in one area in town. Somebody purchased a small little lot for next to nothing, and it wasn't the adjacent property owners because they were rental properties, so they didn't, nobody invested in them. Well, now they've got this ugly little pole barn that meets all the codes to be able to put it in, sticking in the middle of this yard. So that's my concern, is like,
Yeah.
I'd hate for, somebody, they've been fighting for all these years to get these nasty properties tore down, and because they don't have the money, now somebody's gonna come in and put another eyesore in their
I think that's a valid concern, but we would have to just go back to the strength of our zoning
codes
laws,
and zoning,
the way
yeah.
that we have it right now.
I mean, and this one was put in there, and I mean, it meets all the codes, and
Right.
it does not look
But
good,
But if that's built and it does go,
Right.
it does fit into our specifications, at least it gets it back on the tax roll.
amen.
Yeah,
So-
And
Yeah, that's
also,
perfect.
Right.
chances are, if someone owning a lot or whatnot and wanting an eyesore like that next to them, hopefully it's
Yeah,
diminished.
this was just rental properties, and they're
Right.
like, well, but I want another
Right.
yard to mow.
Yeah.
And that was the unfortunate one. I think in most of them, the cases, like, you're gonna want that extra yard. You live in
Right.
town, you'd love to have a
Yeah.
yard. But
Right.
like this one, unfortunately, there was two rental properties, and then there was one in the middle, where the people across the road are the ones that are complaining.
Yeah.
They're like, now we have this ugly pole barn to look at.
Right.
right. And really, to that point, if it meets building code and it meets all the zoning codes,
Oh, I
if we sell it to somebody and they build an ugly pole barn, it could happen.
Right.
But,
But yeah, you're gonna definitely try to contact the adjacent owners and
Absolutely.
let them know that this is going to be up for sale.
Definitely part of our process.
Okay.
any other questions from the board? Any questions, comments from the public? All right, do I have a motion to accept Resolution 2, 2018?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All right, motion passes. Is there anything else that, to come before the board tonight? No, seeing none, motion to adjourn would be in order.
So move.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All right, thank you, folks.